It's your thing. Do what you want to do. I can't tell you, mama, who to talk it to you. It's your thing. Do what you want to do. I can't tell you, honey.
Hi, John X here. In this lesson, I'm going to help you learn how to read and write drum charts. Be sure to purchase my ebook to follow along with this lesson series. Next, we'll take a look at the chorus. In this section, there are 4 points I would like to discuss. First, notice the groove is changed and it's played using a ride cymbal instead of a hi-hat. The ride cymbal sits above the top line of the staff. Next, we'll look at the fill in measure 4. It starts on the 3rd beat of the measure with 2 eighth notes played on the snare drum. It's then followed by 4 16th notes. The first 16th note is played on the snare, the second on the high tom, and the last 2 on the low tom. On the second half of the chorus, the groove changes from eighth notes on the ride to quarter notes on the bell of the ride. The final point to discuss is the last measure of the chorus. On the 4th beat of the measure, a flam is played. A flam is written by first writing the main note, then writing a grace note just before it. A grace note is defined as a note that's added to embellish the main note. Now we'll take a look at the bridge. This is a short 4-bar section, and everything I would like to discuss appears in the first bar. First, notice that the groove is played on a medium hi-hat. That tells the drummer that the foot tension on the hi-hat pedal will be somewhere between tight and slashed. To save space, medium hi-hat is often abbreviated as MED hat. Also, notice that the snare drum is now played using a rim click. The rim click is written using an X note head with a circle around it. I've also seen it written with an X note head. However, I like to reserve X's for symbols and my last name. Next, notice the MP written under the first bass drum note of the measure. This is called a dynamic mark. When the chart moves to the guitar solo, you'll see that there's an F written at the beginning of the first measure. This dynamic mark is forte, and it's telling the musicians that this section of the song is played at a loud volume. Next, on the and of the 3rd beat in the measure, you'll see an O written above the hi-hat part. This tells you to open the hi-hat by releasing the tension on the foot pedal. Then, on the 4th beat of the measure, you'll see a plus sign above the hi-hat. This tells you to close the hi-hat by increasing the tension with your foot on the pedal. Now, we'll look at the breakdown section of the chart. In the first measure of this section, the bass drum and hi-hat are played together on beat 1, Then the hi-hat is played with the foot on beats 2, 3, and 4. Now let's take a look at measures 3 and 4. The number 2, written above the repeat sign that connects the two measures, tells you to repeat what was played in the previous 2 bars. Now we'll take a look at the parts for the guitar solo. In the first bar of this section, you'll see the verse groove written with directions telling you to play it using slashed hi-hats. Then you'll see a long empty measure with an angled line in it and text written above it that says play 7. This is a shortcut method that tells the drummer to play 7 more bars of the groove written in the first bar. This makes the total length of the guitar solo 8 measures. And last but not least, see the note written at the end of the line. This tells the drummer to play a fill and reminds him or her to go to the ride cymbal in the next section of the song. After the guitar solo, the chart goes back to another chorus. This chorus is pretty much the same as the previous one, except for the last 2 measures. In the second to the last measure, notice that fill is written above 4 slashes. This tells the drummer to play a full measure fill, or in this case, a 4-beat fill. In the last measure, the bass drum and hi-hat are played together on beat 1 and rests are written for beats 2, 3, and 4. Notice the 2 slashes to the right of the bass drum and hi-hat part. These are commonly referred to as railroad tracks. This tells the drummer to stop short without ringing cymbals or any other sound after the beat. Then, at the end of the last measure, you'll see an end bar line. This only happens once and only at the end of the very last measure. Finally, to the right of the end bar line, you'll see the word fine. This means finished or end of the song. I like to write this at the end of my charts so there's no doubt that the song is over. You now have the tools you need to read and write a drum chart. I may have missed a few things along the way, but this should give you a good start. Well, that wraps up this lesson series. I sure hope you enjoyed it. Before I go, I would like to thank my good friends at Firth, Zildjian, Drum Workshop, Aquarian, and Shure for their generous support and incredible products. We'll see you again soon. Bye now.
It's your thing.